Welcome back to Days of... Today we will learn about the explosive revelations that are about to rock Salem to its very core. The upcoming Wednesday and Thursday episodes promise to deliver earth-shattering moments that will leave viewers absolutely speechless and questioning everything they thought they knew about the DiMera shooting mystery. The shocking truth finally surfaces. The long-awaited revelation has finally emerged from the shadows, and it's more devastating than anyone could have imagined. Kristen DiMera finds herself facing the most heartbreaking reality of her life. Her precious daughter Rachel is the one who pulled the trigger on E.J. DiMera. This stunning development sends shockwaves through the DiMera mansion and beyond, as the truth threatens to destroy multiple families in its wake. The hypnosis session with Marlena Evans has unlocked E.J.'s suppressed memories, revealing that a woman was indeed his assailant. But the identity of the shooter cuts deeper than any physical wound. It's an innocent child caught in the crossfire of adult vendettas and family dysfunction. Kristen's world comes crashing down as she realizes her own daughter has committed such a violent act, forcing her to confront the toxic environment she's created around Rachel. Marlena and EJ now find themselves in an impossible position, desperately searching for a solution that could save both Johnny and Rachel from devastating consequences. The weight of this knowledge creates an unbearable tension between doing what's legally right and protecting an innocent child who acted out of confusion and pain. EJ, despite being the victim, surprisingly harbors no ill will toward Rachel, understanding that she's merely a product of the chaotic DiMera legacy that has poisoned so many young lives. The race against time intensifies. As Wednesday's episode unfolds, the urgency becomes palpable throughout Salem. EJ realizes he cannot allow Johnny to suffer for a crime he didn't commit, but protecting Rachel creates an entirely different set of moral and legal challenges. The trial's conclusion looms ominously overhead, with every passing moment bringing them closer to a potentially catastrophic verdict that could tear the DiMera family apart forever. Kristen finds herself trapped between her love for her daughter and the harsh reality of justice. Her desperation reaches fever pitch as she begs EJ for more precious time, knowing that once the truth comes out, Rachel's life will never be the same. The irony isn't lost on viewers. Kristen, who has spent years manipulating situations to her advantage, now finds herself completely powerless to protect the one person who matters most to her. Marlena's role becomes increasingly complex as she attempts to shield Rachel from the psychological trauma while simultaneously helping EJ navigate this moral minefield. Her expertise in psychiatry becomes crucial as she tries to understand what drove a young girl to such extreme violence, while also preparing for the inevitable aftermath that will require extensive therapy and healing for everyone involved. Philip and Belle's unexpected connection. In a surprising twist that adds another layer of complexity to Salem's romantic entanglements, Philip Kyriakis seizes the moment to voice his feelings to Belle Brady. His bold declaration that she deserves better than EJ comes at the most inappropriate yet perfect timing, as Belle witnesses firsthand the chaos that surrounds the DiMera patriarch. Philip's timing might seem opportunistic, but his genuine concern for Belle's well-being shines through his words. He recognizes that Belle has been caught in EJ's web of legal and personal drama, constantly cleaning up messes and sacrificing her own happiness for a man who brings nothing but turmoil into her life. The question remains whether Philip truly represents a better alternative, or if he's simply another complicated Salem man with his own shadowy past and questionable motives. Belle finds herself at a crossroads, forced to evaluate her relationship with EJ while dealing with the mounting pressure of Johnny's trial. Philip's intervention forces her to confront uncomfortable truths about her choices and whether she's been settling for drama disguised as passion instead of seeking genuine happiness and stability. Brady and Tate's heart-wrenching struggle. Thursday's episode brings focus to another emotionally charged storyline as Brady Black attempts to comfort his son Tate through an incredibly difficult period. The secret adoption situation has left Tate feeling abandoned and confused, creating a father-son dynamic that tests Brady's parenting skills to their absolute limits. The complexity of Salem's interconnected relationships becomes apparent as Tate grapples with never being able to see his child. This storyline reflects the harsh realities of teenage parenthood and the difficult decisions that come with it. Brady's own experiences with complicated family dynamics give him unique insight into his son's pain, but it also reminds him of his own mistakes and regrets. Meanwhile, Sophia Choi faces mounting pressure from Sarah Horton to reveal the truth about baby Tesoro. Sophia's emotional state continues to deteriorate as jealousy, confusion, and hurt feelings cloud her judgment. Her reluctance to come clean stems from a complex mixture of protective instincts and fear of the consequences that truth might bring to everyone involved. The final countdown to justice. As the episodes progress, Kristen's desperation reaches new heights as she realizes time is running out to protect Rachel from the legal system's harsh realities. Her request to Marlena for help represents a complete role reversal. The woman who has spent years tormenting Marlena's family now finds herself begging for compassion and assistance from her former enemy. The jury deliberation adds another layer of tension to an already explosive situation. With Leo Stark serving as the jury foreperson, the verdict hangs in the balance while EJ prepares to make the most difficult decision of his life. The question becomes whether he'll reveal Rachel's involvement before the verdict is announced, potentially saving Johnny but destroying a child's life in the process. The upcoming episodes promise to deliver the kind of dramatic intensity that Days of Our Lives fans have come to expect, with consequences that will reverberate through Salem for months to come. The moral complexity of protecting a child while ensuring justice creates a storyline that challenges viewers' preconceptions about right and wrong, family loyalty, and the price of secrets. As these revelations unfold, Salem's residents will be forced to confront their own roles in creating the toxic environment that led to such tragic circumstances. The shooting may have been Rachel's action, but the responsibility extends far beyond one confused child's desperate act. Part 2. Friends, lovers, or something in between. Chad and Kat's unexpected journey. There are moments in life when the lines between friendship and love become blurred, when unexpected circumstances push two people together, and suddenly they are forced to wonder what they truly mean to each other. That is the place where Chad and Kat now find themselves, after weeks of being confined under the same roof, nursing each other back to health, and sharing conversations that neither of them expected to have. The story begins at Kat's house. For days, both she and Chad battled illness together, carefully taking their temperatures and monitoring every symptom, uncertain when or if they would be ready to rejoin the world. But finally, the fevers had broken. On this particular day, relief washed over both of them. They were no longer confined by sickness. They were finally free. Chad, ever the man of action, couldn't hide his excitement at the thought of returning home, of reintegrating into daily life, and of once again taking his place in society. He practically beamed at the thought of moving forward. Yet, even in his eagerness, Chad was mindful enough to realize how his words might sound. He quickly apologized to Kat, making sure she understood that he hadn't meant to imply that being at her home was terrible. Quite the opposite, in fact. Kat smiled softly, but there was a quiet weight in her eyes. She had grown used to their companionship, the rhythms of shared meals, whispered late-night conversations, and the comfort of knowing someone else was there. For her, Chad's departure wasn't just about him leaving the house. It was about her returning to a silence she wasn't sure she was ready for. Perhaps sensing her hesitation, Chad admitted something he hadn't planned to say. He told her that he truly enjoyed spending time with her. This wasn't just about convenience or circumstance. It was about connection. He acknowledged that the people closest to him, Julie and Abigail's family, would have to learn to accept whatever this is between him and Kat. Kat froze at those words. Whatever this is. She tilted her head, looked at him with curiosity, and asked softly, "And what exactly is going on here, Chad?" For a moment, Chad struggled to answer. He confessed that he hadn't expected their relationship, whatever name it deserved, to reach this point. He admitted, with heartfelt sincerity, that he cared deeply for her. Then, almost as a way of anchoring his own vulnerability, he added, "You're a good friend, Kat." That word, friend, landed heavily. Kat smiled politely, but inside, she felt confusion stirring. Was friend really the right word? Was it all she wanted to hear after everything they had been through? Perhaps it wasn't. A mix of joy and sorrow. While the tension of that conversation lingered in the air, Kat's life was about to be shaken again, this time by forces beyond romance. She had recently received encouraging news that had filled her with cautious hope. Her mother, who had been staying in a facility far from Salem, was finally going to be transferred to a location much closer. For Kat, that meant not only convenience but also the comfort of being able to visit and care for her more easily. On top of that, her younger brother Aaron had made an important decision. He was moving back home to Salem to play football for Salem University. For Kat, this was more than just a logistical change. It was a symbol of family unity returning, of pieces of her world shifting back into place. It seemed like life, which had been so unsettled and full of illness, was slowly rebuilding itself into something brighter. But life, as it often does, had one more twist prepared. Marlena's call. That afternoon, Chad went to say a quiet goodbye to Felicity, leaving Kat alone in the house. The phone rang, and when Kat picked it up, it was Marlena on the other end. Marlena's voice was calm but carried a weight of sorrow. She explained gently that she was being placed on indefinite leave from her work. This was not temporary. It meant that Marlena, a trusted guide and mentor in Kat's professional life, would no longer be able to provide the stability and opportunities Kat had grown to rely on. As the words sank in, Kat realized the full meaning. She was going to need to find a new job. The mixture of emotions was overwhelming. Relief over her mother's transfer. Joy over Aaron's return. Heartache over Marlena's absence. And confusion over Chad's uncertain words. Kat's world, which had just begun to feel balanced again, now teetered on uneven ground. Where does this leave Chad and Kat? For Kat, the next steps are uncertain. She knows she must search for new employment, reimagine her daily routine, and prepare to support her family in a new chapter of their lives. But in her quiet moments, she cannot stop replaying Chad's words in her mind. "You're a good friend." Was that all he truly meant? Or was it a shield, a careful way of avoiding something deeper? After all, the look in his eyes suggested a tenderness that went beyond ordinary friendship. And his acknowledgement that his family would have to get used to their connection implied something more significant than mere companionship. For Chad, too, the path ahead is unclear. He has always carried the weight of his past, of Julie's guidance, of Abigail's memory, and of his role as a father. To admit that Kat meant something more to him would be to step into unknown territory, a choice he wasn't sure he was ready to make. But as every older and wiser soul knows, life rarely waits until we feel ready. Sometimes the turning points come suddenly, without warning, and all we can do is decide how much of ourselves we are willing to risk for the chance at love. Final reflections. The story of Chad and Kat is not one of neat conclusions. It is a story caught in motion, suspended in a delicate balance of possibility. They are no longer just two people who helped each other survive an illness. They are now two souls standing at a crossroads, uncertain whether to walk forward as friends or risk stepping into the unknown territory of love. For Kat, new challenges await. Her family shifting closer, her career path taking an unexpected detour, her heart carrying questions that only time will answer. For Chad, the choice will be whether to let go of the safety of the word friend, or to embrace the deeper truth of what his heart may already know. And for all of us who have ever stood in that fragile place between friendship and love, perhaps we recognize a bit of ourselves in their hesitation, their longing, and their hope. Because in the end, what truly matters is not whether they choose the word friends or lovers, but whether they have the courage to choose each other.